Hey everyone, welcome to Go Man Go. And today we're doing something a little different. We're not doing disc golf. I am actually out hiking. I am at Miami Whitewater Park. It's a Hamilton County park outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And I decided I was going to go on a hike instead of doing disc golf. Ski season is fast approaching and I need to get my legs in shape. And I hate running. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and do some hiking to get my legs in shape. And something I've been thinking about doing on this channel, because I like to hike, I really enjoy hiking. I think I'm going to do some reviews of hiking trails. And in Cincinnati, we have some great parks and we have some really good hiking trails for a kind of a suburban slash urban type parks. And you know what? I'm going to do a review. This is my very first review of hiking trails. And I'm on what's called the Badlands Trail. It's a 1.6 mile trail. It actually has an inner loop too. It's a lot smaller. I think it's like an 1/8 of a mile trail. But I'm going to do the outer loop, 1.6 miles. Then I'm going to go over and do at least one more trail, if not another one, to try to hit all three that are all right together, really close together. In one parking lot, you can hit all three trails. It's fall, it's November. Most of the leaves are already down, so it's not going to be as pretty as if I would have come about a week ago. But it's still pretty for this time of year. A little chilly today, but let's go ahead and check out this trail. All right, so here we go. All right, so far this trail has some decent hills to go up and has some bridges. I'm on a bridge now. Now I'm getting ready to go up a hill. So you could get a pretty good workout on this trail, especially if you decide to keep a pretty good pace or take it nice and leisurely. But you're still gonna get some up and down elevation changes. So pretty good trail so far. Because you have elevation changes, you can see down into these little ravines, these little canyons. It's really pretty. So I've been on this trail several times before, many times actually, and I really like it. I love the elevation change because it makes it feel like a real hike and not just a walk in the woods. And it's really pretty this time of year with the leaves on the ground. Wish I would have come out here a week or so before when leaves were still on the trees. You got the pretty ravines. And right here where I'm at, I'm going to show you here in a minute, are these little mounds. I always wondered if they are Indian mounds. There's no marking saying that they are. I don't know if they're man-made or if this is the natural way of the earth. But let me show you. They're pretty cool looking. So here they are. I might have to move a little bit to get these formations. But there's these little mounds. Let me come around a little bit. Yeah, there's these little mounds, and we do have Indian mounds here in Southwest Ohio. In fact, I will do a hike in the future to an Indian mound not far from here. So not sure if that's what these are. We'll have to try and find out from one of the park rangers what these are. they're really cool. Even if they're just man-made by the parks when they made the trails or something, I don't know, but they're really cool. So I'm nearing the end of the trail, and as I mentioned, I like this trail. The Badlands Trail does have some elevation change, and it's Southwest Ohio, and Southwest Ohio is hilly, but it is not crazy hills. It's not mountainous by any stretch of the imagination, but you do have the elevation change there, and I do like that. I've seen a lot of wildlife in the sense of squirrels, chipmunks, birds. I tried to get some video, but by the time I got a camera up to try to film, they were skittish and they moved off. Maybe on one of the other trails, I'll get some wildlife. But if you're a bird person, definitely bring some binoculars, or you bring your bird book, see if you can identify the birds. I think I saw about 4 different kinds of birds. I don't know what they are. I'm not a bird person. I do not know. But you definitely will see wildlife. I have seen deer on this trail before as well. But yes, it's a good trail. So it's kind of I'd say a moderate trail when it comes to experience. There's several footbridges. None of the footbridges are very high, just a few feet. So you're not like way above a creek or anything like that, or above a ravine. You do have some footbridges to navigate, probably, I'm gonna guess about 6 to 8 of them. I didn't count. But it's a good moderate trail with some elevation change and a good amount of distance. I think, what was it, 1.8 miles? Let's go check out some of the other trails. Right across the street from where we were is the Oakleaf Trail, and it is only 3/4 of a mile, although it seems to hike longer than that. And it is a pretty hike as well. It's got some elevation changes, has a pond and a stream that goes to the lake that is at the park. So let's go ahead and check it out. So here's the pond, and it really seems to be drying up. It's been a couple years since I've been up here. But yeah, it's drying up. Right next to the pond is a fork in the road with no marker. I can't remember which way we're supposed to go. I'm gonna go to the left. So here you got that stream that comes from the pond. It goes down to, I'm pretty sure that's down there is another pond that eventually goes to the lake. All right, so here's the lower pond. It does not flow down to the lake. The lake is on the other side over there. I think we'll see from the third trail, we'll see the lake. Make sure whatever you bring in, you take out. I'm nearing the end of the Oakleaf Trail, and as I said, it's not very long. It says it's 3/4 of a mile. It seems more like a mile. And there is a little bit of elevation change. You can see that bluff behind me up there. It's pretty much going, once you get across the pond, you go up there to the top of that bluff, walk across the top, and then back down over there, and then walk along the edge of that pond. So just a little bit of elevation change, a little bit steep, kind of moderate, I guess you'd say, going up and coming down. But it's a nice trail, beautiful little pond. The sign says it'll take an hour to an hour and a half, not even close to that. I didn't time it, but it definitely was not that long, maybe 20 minutes. All depends on your pace. But it's pretty. You got the 2 ponds and a little bit of elevation change. So definitely worth taking. So we're gonna go and hit the third trail that's grouped right here. All 3 trails are in the same spot. You got the parking together, so you could do all 3 if you wanted to. And so let's go ahead and do that. So now we're on the Timberlakes Trail, and there was no sign saying, at least at the trailhead, there was no sign saying how long the trail is. I've been on this trail before. I think I've only been on this one like once. So I'm not sure how long it is, but there was a sign saying that 0.3 miles, a third of a mile has been added to the trail because there, I guess, one of the routes has been decommissioned because of some deterioration of the land or something like that. I didn't read the whole sign, but I did video the sign, so we can check that out later, see why. But anyway, there's been a little bit added to the trail, which is fine. It gives a little bit more to see, and so we'll take the trail and see what it's like. We're already up a little high. You can see there's that lower pond of where we were on the opposite side. So we're on the other side of that pond. So let's check it out and see what this trail's like. Again, up on these great bluffs looking down into the ravines. I think that's so pretty. It would have been awesome to be here a week or so ago when there was more leaves. It'll be awesome to come back in the spring and see everything in bloom, but definitely pretty. You can see how this trail gets its name with these tall, skinny trees just everywhere. Very pretty. So all the trails have at least one park bench, if not more, that you can sit down and just enjoy the view. So I'm just sitting here for a moment, enjoying the pretty view of these tall timbers. Went down to that stream, ended up getting something in my shoe, of course. So, yeah, part of hiking, All right, so we are at the lower pond. A lot more water at the lower pond. Very pretty. Nice reflection. A good part of this hike, once you come through the tall timbers area, is up on this bluff that we're on. You can see behind me that way. You can see behind me that way. Yeah, so you're up on this bluff for a good long time. There's some elevation change, obviously, on this trail because you got to come up to the bluff. You start on a bluff over on the other side, come down, go by the pond, come back up to this other bluff. And remember I told you that there was a lake in the park, and I knew one of these trails went by the lake. And of course, it's the very last one. So I can see through the trees that there's a lake. You kind of see it over there a little bit. So hopefully we'll get a better view of the lake. All right, you can see the lake a little bit better. You can see how it comes into the woods here. I think that lower pond drains into that part of the lake. And actually the lake is pretty decent size. It goes further to the right, back a pretty good distance. Let's continue on. So this is the old way, which took you straight up this little hill and right up to the parking lot. But we got to go back the way we came down before we went over here to the pond and back up on the majority of the trail. We got to go back through the tall timbers. All right, so back this way, another third of a mile. So I'm nearing the end of the Timberlakes Trail, and it is a great trail. I really like it. I think I've only been on this one other time, and that was a long time ago. It's a great trail. I love the new addition that's what we're on right now. It really stakes through these tall timbers and takes you to the back part of that lower pond or lower lake, and then takes you over to the bigger lake. It's really pretty. The trail is, it's got some elevation changes to it. You got one bluff here, and then you go over to that other bluff over there. And that brings a different element to it, along with the scenery of the lower pond, the ravine and the stream, and then getting over to the bigger lake on the other side. So that is definitely a plus. I would say that this trail is easy to moderate, maybe leaning more towards the moderate because of the elevation change. But when you make the elevation change, you're on top of the bluffs for a good while. So it's not like you're up and down like on the first trail that we did. So I would say easy to moderate, leaning a little bit more towards the moderate. It is a little bit longer. I'm gonna see if I can find out how long this trail is, because it did not say that at the beginning, but maybe there's a sign in the parking lot. You can easily do all three of these trails in one morning or one afternoon. I think I did them all like in 2 hours, and I'm stopping, shooting video, going backwards a little bit, shooting more video. If I was just straight up hiking, probably would have been less time. And so they're all clumped together, and it is a nice little system that they have with all these trails right here. There's I think a few other trails in the park that I might try to do as well. By the way, there are amenities in the parking lot. There's bathrooms right there. They're closed for the season, so they have a little porta-john there instead for now, but normally there's males and females bathrooms. Cincinnati is really blessed with a great park system. It's called greatparks.org is the website, so you can go there and learn a lot about the different parks in the Cincinnati, Hamilton County area. There's a lot of different parks with hiking trails. I'm going to try to do different ones and see if I can't do reviews of those different hiking trails. But these three great trails. So if you are in the area, I encourage you to check out these trails as well. Like I said, Miami Whitewater Park has a lot to offer with the lake and the campground and the biking trails and the disc golf and regular golf. And a little bit further away, there's soccer fields and a dog park, but it's about maybe a 7-minute car ride away from the main part of Miami Whitewater Park. So there you go. Here's a review of the hiking trails. Thanks for joining us. And normally I say go man go, get out and throw, because we're a disc golf channel, but I'm just going to say go man go, get outside, go hike, enjoy the outdoors. See ya.